Yeah, the Bilal fight in Vegas. It was, it was a lot different fight, I think, than what the fans actually saw, because the fans saw a fan-friendly fight. They saw a fight of the night performance. They saw me winning the fight pretty heavily in the first half, and then Bilal making a comeback. Credit to him, he had a ton of heart, great chin on him. What they didn't see was me not getting hit much at all in the first round and a half, really. They saw me drop him 3 times, but I didn't get hit that much, and I was pretty much dominating that fight up until I broke my hand. On the third time that I dropped him, I broke my hand in 2 places. From there, he sensed that that left hand wasn't coming anymore. He sensed that the danger wasn't there, and he made his comeback. So I'm glad we got fight of the night. Maybe if I didn't break my hand, I think I would have put him away. Maybe we wouldn't have got fight of the night. So I guess it all worked out in the long run. But what I'm getting at is that was the style of fighting that I'm gearing towards now. I love exciting fights, and that'll always be in my heart, but it's a percentage game now that me and my coaches talk about. The less I get hit, the more that I land, the better percentages I have of winning. So that's what I'm trying to gather from moving forward from there.
That's fun. So in a lot of ways, because it was a battle, a war, war of attrition, and you showed heart, you showed chin as well. You can't just credit him, but
Yeah.
but you want to make sure that that's not necessarily what you're showing every time out.
That's it, man. Like I said, I always love those kind of fights. I think, man, just like watching Rocky growing up, it's like it's in your blood when you watch that stuff. It's like, oh, it's got to be a fight of the night. It's got to be a comeback thing. But my coaches always kind of like remind me, look, we're looking for. My goal this camp has been kind of like flawless victory. Flawless victory is a hard thing to obtain. But I was on my way there with the Bilal fight. I was barely getting hit. I was landing at like a 90% ratio. I dropped him 3 times. I was doing everything I had to do, footwork, staying out of danger, stuffing the takedowns, doing the fight that we've always wanted me to fight, not staying in the pocket. And that flawless victory is a hard thing to achieve, but I want to start being that guy that's getting the performance of the night bonuses, not just fight of the night for getting awards.
Very nice. So then they come to you with the name Mike Perry. What was your reaction? Because I got to think that was probably one that wasn't on your radar.
Not at all. I didn't really care who the opponent was. I cared who the opponent was in terms of I wanted a top 15 guy. If it wasn't going to be a top 15 guy, then I really didn't care. It was more for me, I broke my hand, I did my 3 months of therapy, and then it was just I want to fight before the end of the year. I didn't want to fight next year. I didn't want to have this year. It was successful. I went 2-0 so far. But I didn't want it to be a 2-fight year. I'm 35 years old. I'm not trying to fight twice a year. I'm trying to fight as many times as possible before the end of my career. So I wanted to fight before the end. I knew the Sacramento card was close to home. It was on Big Fox. It would open me up to a whole new audience. This is where I wanted to be, preferably against a big name or a top 15 opponent. But if it wasn't going to be there, I'm just looking to fight. I was itching to fight. So they came back with Mike Perry. He's, all in all, he's a stand-up guy. He's fan-friendly style, and so I said, man, let's sign it. Let's do it,
He's kind of, a little bit different personality. He's out there talking some trash. I know you guys have had a little bit of back and forth, but that hasn't typically been you or your style. So has that been a little bit weird to kind of have this kind of beef, so to speak, going into it?
It was a little bit. It brought a little bit of the younger Alan out in me, I had to kind of find myself for a minute, man. The younger me, the 19, 20-year-old Alan that would be scrapping in the streets all the time, that wanted to come out. But then the mature guy came out, and I realized, you know what, like, I'm leading this dance, not Mike. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let him dictate how the trash talk goes or how the fight goes. I'm leading this dance. I'm the bigger name. I'm the more experienced fighter. You're on this main card because of me. You're fighting me. And that's how I've been taking it from there. I blocked him on Twitter. I didn't respond to some of his really elementary insults. They were just pretty lame. So I just stopped responding to him. And like I said, that was kind of my mindset. Like, I'm the one in charge right here, so I'm not going to respond to you when I need. I'll just take care of it in the fight game. Take care of it when we fight, and from there, move forward.
You're definitely like the more seasoned guy, of course. I think you're the more well-rounded guy, but he does have some physical tools. And I do wonder, kind of looking at it, you've admitted over your career, sometimes you get off to a little bit of a slow start and you need to get hit a little bit before you wake up. This guy hits you. It might not be, might not have that chance to wake up. So, yeah. Is that something that you're having to combat, and are you approaching it and considering that?
No, absolutely. That's 100% part of it, man. Sitting in the pocket with Mike is not a great idea. I could definitely win those exchanges, but why even give him the light of the day to land something? I respect him as a fighter. He's got heavy power. He's undefeated. He got there a 9-0 record for a reason. So I respect that about him, and I just need to dictate how I fight. If I get caught up in these exchanges, that's just upping his percentages to land something on me. If I fight my fight the way that I want to, I'm gonna land on him. I'm gonna find that opening. I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna put him away. But yeah, man, it's definitely something you don't want to sit there and get hit by. If somebody's a knockout artist, you want to sit there in the pocket with them, and I don't plan on to.
You touched on your age. I mean, I think you're still in your athletic prime. I think you're still fighting well. But are you starting to think a little bit about what comes after fighting?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's something that fighting is still 100% my passion. I haven't taken my foot off the gas at all. But it's definitely something that, just as also a fighter, but I'm also a father and a husband, that I think, let me start planting those seeds now. You know what I mean? Let me start doing things like that. That way, when the fight game's over, it's a smooth transition. I'm not jobless for a couple of years. That was the one thing that I told myself, I told my wife, I told my family. When I go into the fight game, and they were like, no, don't do it. You're modeling. Why would you go into the fight game? And I was like, listen, I know that I could be successful. I know it. I know that I'll be successful. But if I do it, I'm doing it 100%. I'm not doing it to be one of these guys. The saddest thing to me, I love Muay Thai. My wife's Thai. I watch a lot of Muay Thai. The saddest thing is when you see these guys, they're like Lumpini champions. They're these champions. They have 250 fights, and they have no money, no job. They teach in privates at a gym for minimum wage. And it breaks my heart that they were a hero to so many at a certain chapter of their life, and now they can't afford to really live that lifestyle anymore. And that was one thing that I just said, I don't want to be that guy. Yeah, I love title belts, and I love all this stuff and the accolades, but I'm in this to be successful in every means possible, to be a champion, to be good at what I do, to inspire people, to be financially able to take care of my family, the entire circle of success. And so that's what I plan on doing after my career as well, continuing this. And I just want to stay in the MMA game though. I've been in the game, in the fight business for about 10 years, and in every aspect of it, I've learned so much, and I love it, and I'm passionate about it, so that if I stop fighting one day, maybe I could do some work for Fox or something like that, something commentary, something involved in the sport where I can still stay with the sport.
I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out like what the new ownership group, what it means to UFC. But I was thinking you might be one of the ones that was probably most excited to see WME IMG come in, right? I mean, it seems like they could open some doors for you.
I don't know where I stand on it yet. I mean, I haven't seen anything happen yet. But obviously, it is exciting. I try to stay optimistic with it because, like you said, there could be a lot of big doors opening. It seems like they've been kind of shaving down the roster. And I'm hoping that with the smaller roster, I'm not saying I'm in favor of it, but I'm hoping that what they're doing is shaving down the roster to a smaller core group of guys, and then from there taking these guys and promoting them more, where before we had such a big roster, 650 fighters, and only 4 guys were getting the limelight. I'm hoping now they'll kind of equally distribute it, so we'll see what happens though.
Very nice. Well, you mentioned Saturday, big platform on Fox. Not looking for fight of the night, looking for performance of the night.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you play this thing out in your head, I mean, how do you see this? Because on paper, this does look like it could be one of those, back and forth, fan-friendly type fights.
Yeah, everybody's saying that, man, and it will be exciting. It will be exciting. As much as I polish certain things and tweak my game, I am who I am as a fighter. I think you're kind of born that way. You are who you are. You could pick up skills from your trainer or coaches or be inspired in a certain way, but you're always going to react a certain way under fire. And I will always react a certain way. I try to stay polished in there and do my certain things, but I always will. He's aggressive. I'm aggressive when I need to be. It's going to be a fan-friendly fight. I'm definitely, one of my goals for this fight is to have a bonus. It just happens to be a different one than I normally get, not a fight of the night. But I do plan on putting them away, man. I'm in the best shape of my life. I've said that, people say that almost every fight, but I'm not just saying it this fight. I feel like I have a new strengthening and conditioning coach, Taylor Ramsdale at Chain Fitness, and I've been with him this is my 3rd fight now, and every fight I've seen success in the room, in the weight room and everything. But this fight in particular, after being with him for 2 fights, I feel like it's finally kind of in my DNA now. I've absorbed it. My body's responding a certain way. I'm in a terrific shape, and I plan on going out there and being able to showcase that, putting Mike in a position that he's never been in, where he's like a guy like me. He's never been in there with a guy like me with my skill set, but also a guy that has the heart of me and the cardio of mine and knows how to put him away. So I think it's going to show come fight night on Saturday.